How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. It's certainly been a tough week. As I record this, this is the second week of September 2025. News of a murder on the subway in Charlotte. A beautiful young Ukrainian refugee, Irina Zarutska, murdered for no reason other than being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Of course, the 24th anniversary of September 11th and those horrible events. And also, unfortunately, the assassination of Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA, who has touched so many people during his all too brief life. And unfortunately, that's what I also have to talk to you about today, as there is an intersection with the role-playing community. So this is who we're talking about. Justin Alexander, who has a site, I believe, and also a YouTube channel called the Alexandrian. And I know he's written a couple of books. He basically, I think, just gives bog standard GM and player advice. But he, unfortunately, said some pretty awful things in the direct aftermath of the Charlie Kirk assassination. I'm not sure why people think they have to do this. You can almost kind of tell the smart ones out there who probably think the exact same way as Justin, but they are smart enough to just not say anything. But Justin chose not to go down that path, and this is what he had to say, mocking that he was survived by a loving family, including his two sisters. Can you imagine what it was like for them? And then he says, sure, feeling empathy is human after all. He was still a piece of shit who made it his goal in life to hurt other people. This is just so false, as everybody knows. And I guess that's the good thing here. Everybody does know the truth because it was self-evident that he was interested, yes, in putting his side, his view out there and trying to convince people that it was the right one. But he was one of the moderate ones. He was one of the ones who wanted to engage with people, and he did listen to them, and occasionally, gave points if they made a good point. So this is simply lying, and so callous, so cruel. He really, really went too far here. He was a piece of shit. He goes on to say, I guess he wanted to reiterate this point. He was a piece of shit who made it his goal in life to hurt other people. Dying doesn't change that. Just awful, awful. And he's obviously intimating here that Charlie Kirk deserved his fate. And many on the left love doing this, giving the killer a reason and, honestly, some tacit support. We remember, of course, when President Trump was nearly assassinated. They always called him and, of course, people like Charlie Kirk, and actually most of us, fascists. But what do they always preach you're supposed to do to fascists? Well, obviously violence. And when people actually take them up on it and do this horrible violence, they have to try to explain it away or ignore. Here you see one wishing the bullet that hit Charlie a very pleasant day. Another pair of doozies here, talking about the irony of somebody who likes the Second Amendment getting shot. Boy, that is getting tired, is it not? Here you go. I want you to take a look at this, as hard as it is. These people are out there, and every time you hear somebody say both sides, I want you to think of this image in particular. I heard the governor of Utah trying to give a heartfelt speech on, reconciliation and forgiveness. And he did use the both sides, which really, really did kind of make me bite my lip, when I heard it. Because it seems like this is mostly just coming from one side. There you go. A Seattle college. Kill all Charlie Kirks. So this isn't just an online thing. This is a sickness in the soul of the left. They have been poisoned by a philosophy which is the worst philosophy ever devised by man. Here's another one trying to be humorous. Anti-vaxxer finally gets shot. Haha. Now that's Jeff Grubb. I've heard differing accounts that this is the Jeff Grubb from D&D fame. And then I've heard some people say, no, it's not. I'm not sure who. I just know that this particular Jeff Grubb, whether it's that person or not, is a piece of human garbage. I mean, it is pretty clear that even though they go about it different ways, that Justin Alexander and all those people saying all those horrible things, look, they're all on the same side. It's pretty clear that they will celebrate publicly, privately, or kind of in between when things like this happen. You have to remember that. Justin Alexander is a piece of shit. And I know some people will expressly support him because he is a piece of shit, but I think a lot of people will see him for what he is, especially folks who are maybe more center-right. Of course, we know that he is. But I think, like I said, things kind of changed a little bit, and they're starting to see folks like Justin Alexander for who they are. And he is a detestable cretin. Do not support this guy in any way. Don't buy his books. Don't support his channel. Just let him know what you think of his awful comments. Now, he is going to be at ArnoCon this year, and I do know that the organizers of that convention, who had invited him as an honored guest before all this, are quite dismayed at this post. A normal person would see how they kind of screwed up and maybe relieve the organizers of the burden of asking them not to come and then just drop out. But I am putting money on the fact that Justin, like all leftists, are utter and complete narcissistic monsters. Though they pretend to, they actually don't human very well, so they can only see things from their own twisted worldview. So he will probably go to ArnoCon just to prove a point. I'm going to ask you, please don't boycott ArnoCon over this one individual. It's a good convention that celebrates the memory of Dave Arneson. And as I said, I know at least one of the organizers, Griff, who did Secrets of Blackmore. Griff is a good guy. But I would say, if you are at ArnoCon, you are within your rights to tell Justin peacefully what you think of his comments, if you are going to be there. And I do stress peaceful there. Please don't get into trouble. But you are within your rights to tell him, hey, that's not cool. Please pray for Charlie Kirk's family, his wife Erica, and their kids. Look, kids are resilient, and they will learn what a great man their father is. And I wouldn't be surprised if someday, as we're all a little bit older, they take up the mantle. His wife Erica will do okay too. As the days go by, the wounds will probably close, but never quite heal. And I'm sure Erica will look back on every day with Charlie before September 10th as a golden time that, in a much smaller way, we were all able to enjoy too. And as the years go by, those memories will probably become even more vivid. So close that she can almost touch them, but thanks to an assassin's bullet and the refuge given to those murderers from people just like Justin Alexander, it'll be forever out of reach. God bless.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties